Doug, what do your God bumps feel like?
Hey, Davey. Let's see. Yeah, what do they feel like? I would say I have to generalize a little bit because it could be different any given time. But yeah, they feel like an expanded sense of awareness, energetically, like I'm expanded. Um, and more open. And there's a certain feeling of freedom and relaxation in that. And sometimes there can also be like this sort of solidity, like I've had this experience where there's this huge sphere in front of me that's very solid and heavy and grounded down to the center of the planet. And somehow I'm tied into that. I'm part of that.
Hmm. Cool. What do they feel like emotionally, these God bumps?
Well, emotionally, yeah, I think some of the words I use, well, I would say they feel balanced, grounded, solid, relaxed, at ease, or yeah, in ease.
Cool. So how often do you get God bumps?
Well, Davey, not often enough.
I mean,
Yeah.
like once a day, once a week, once a month, or
Okay, let's see if I can quantify it for you. I would, it's hard, a little hard to generalize, but I would say maybe a couple times a month.
Mhm. Okay. So when was the first time that you started getting God bumps?
Yeah, we sort of talked about that before.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a little hard to really put my finger on it. The best shot I could give it was when I was in high school, which was just a little while back. I had this dream series where I was in the tropics, and it was always like I was either flying in or I was there sort of,
Was it like a lucid dream?
well, that's really like when you're living it. Is that?
Yeah, that's when you can kind of direct your dream.
Directing it?
Yeah.
No, well, not entirely. No, I wouldn't say entirely.
Okay.
That's a whole other topic, but
Okay.
yeah, the feeling associated with those dreams, not only during them, but post dream when I woke up was, what was the feeling? It was profound in a way, like, boy, it's hard to put a quality on it. But it was always, I would see this azure blue water and this super clear and this white sandy beaches and the green palm trees. Like it was so rich. The colors were rich, and it gave me a great sense of peace and joy to behold that environment.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
and which lasted, into my waking time.
So what brings on your God bumps or gets them started or going?
It can be many, many different things. And, just sometimes just petting the dog, this particular dog.
Yeah.
And, yeah, what gets my God bumps going? I would say, yeah, it's hard to say it's only one thing. It's
Mhm.
probably a myriad of things.
Mhm.
Sometimes it could just be like, oh, I have this idea that I want to go do something like a chore, household chore,
Mhm.
and I'll hear this very subtle suggestion will come up in my mind that, oh, you need to gather these things with you before you go do that. And I'm not, I say it comes up in my mind, but it may not even be my mind. It seems like it comes from some other part
Mhm.
of me, because my mind will oftentimes say, "Oh, why do you need those? You know, you know what you're going to be doing. You don't really need these other items."
Mhm.
But there's it kind of percolates up from somewhere,
Mhm.
and inevitably, I do need those things um, as I'm preparing to do this task.
Yeah.
So, or even on the way to go do the task, maybe there's these other items that needed to come along for some other purpose.
Mhm. So how long do your God bumps usually last?
Yeah, they're not, I'd say not long enough. Um, yeah. Um, yeah, I have a pretty, um,
Like a few seconds or a few minutes?
yeah, I would say a few minutes.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool,
yeah.
cool. Can you invoke or manifest God bumps out of the blue?
Not usually,
Mhm.
not usually. I think if I was going to try to do that, it would involve some sort of prayer and yeah, just some sort of prayer.
Mhm.
And sometimes that works,
Mhm.
but I would say that's something I struggle with.
Mhm. So do you use God bumps for guidance and making decisions?
I would say yes. In a sense, well, God bumps might come after I have an intuitive hit on
Mhm.
something.
Mhm.
And it's sort of the icing on the cake, perhaps.
Yeah.
That it maybe makes it more trustworthy to me.
Mhm.
If I have an
Yeah.
intuition about something, and then my thinking mind will come in and the doubting mind will come in, and then, but if there's that feeling part after the intuitive hit, I think the feeling part sort of cements the experience together and helps to transcend the thinking mind, the doubting mind,
Yeah.
and that's helpful.
Yeah, that's guidance.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you very much, Doug. Really appreciate this.